Good evening. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network presents the DCTV 4-H Evening News Program for Monday, January 29, 2018. Our camera person tonight is Daniel. Video engineer and producer, Devin. Teleprompter and prompter, Myra. Sound engineer, also Devin. News anchor, Nick. And meteorologist, Hannah. This is your news director, Edward, and now the news.
We lost the green screen.
Good afternoon and welcome to DCTV 4-H News and Weather Program. Help keep our kids' news show on the air by becoming a sponsor. By sponsorships, is call 970-677-4119. This story's from the Denver Post. Michael Bennett Jared, police put forth bill to bolster protection for more than 98,000 acres of federal land in Colorado. Its Outdoor Recreation World rallied in Denver. Two of Colorado's leaders in Washington offered a plan to bolster protection for more than 98,000 acres of federal land in Eagle and Summit counties. Senator Michael Bennett and Representative Jared Polis, Continental Divide Recreation, Wilderness, and Cap Hill Legacy Act was pretty much guaranteed a warm embrace at the Outdoor Red Tailor Snow Show in Denver. The proposal, which Polis has proposed 3 times since 2010, creates 3 new wilderness areas and expands 3 others. The new bill includes Bennett's 2 years push to designate a first-ever National Historic Landscape for Camp Hill, which would support the enhancement and protection of almost 29,000 acres where the historic 10th Mountain Division trained during World War II. The bill creates 3 new wilderness areas in the 10-mile range, Hoosier Ridge and Williams Fork Mountains, and expands 3 existing wilderness areas: Eagles Nest, Patrman Peak, Targaman Peak, and Holy Cross. The 10th Mountain Division, where the founders of Colorado ski industry and our ski hills, so much of the outdoor recreation ecosystem. I think Coloradoans are going to look at what we say and want to designate that designation, Bennett said. Starting, meeting a collection of business owners from South Fork, Salida, Steamboat Springs, Breckenridge, Cortez, and Leadville, who gathered to champion the public lands, starting the Continental Divide Trail. The following stories from the Cortez Journal. A tiny plant that shapes the Colorado River. Head east from the Lynn Springs in western Colorado today, and you'll encounter an isolated stretch from I-70 hugging the currents of the Colorado River. But 1 or 10 years ago, you would hit a thriving little city of hundreds of people living in tents, nestled there between the high wall of the river canyon, so its residents could build a hydroelectric plant. The facility, the so-shown power plant, still adds energy to the grid, but its true importance lies elsewhere. So shown is a cornerstone of an elaborate complex of water rights, laws, agreements, and relationships that shape the management of the upper Colorado River, because of the water rights it holds, and because it returns the water it uses to the river channel. The diminutive plant dictates how the river is managed in Colorado. The water system so shown has shaped irrigation crops, supports endangered fish, and keeps a nearly $8 million rafting industry afloat. Merely by existing, the plant helps keep the Mansa River and other thirsty cities in check. In what has long been a source of conflict and compromises among Colorado's water managers. Most of the state's precipitation falls west of the Continental Divide on the western slope, separated from the majority of population by Rocky Mountains. Since the early 1900s, a series of tunnels and ditches have addressed that mismatch by ferrying water out of the Colorado River Basin, supplying cities and irrigation fields east of the Rockies. The so-shown power plant has played a dominant role in the river. It first came online, says John Carey, chief engineer at Colorado River and Water Conservation District. 5 stories from the Durango Herald. Local police armed themselves with overdose to reverse the drugs and saving lives. Sergeant Nick Stassi with the Durango Police Department was on patrol the morning of August 19th when he responded to a call involving a 31-year-old man suffering from opioid overdose. Stassi arrived on scene shortly after 8:30 a.m. to find the man unconscious in his bedroom. He was quick to react and administer naloxone undoubtedly saving the man's life. Naloxone, often known as the brand name Narcan, is a drug that counters the effects of opioid overdose. Police departments across the country are starting to carry Naloxone to save lives. He was a known heroin user, so his roommates called 911. Sassy said, "Myself and a couple officers responded, and knowing it was likely a heroin overdose, I brought my Narcan into the house." Sassy said the man had a pulse but was not breathing. The guy was lying in bed. "We got him onto the floor and we were able to administrate 2 doses of Narcan," he said. After a few minutes, paramedics arrived and the man began to stir. In less than 30 minutes, he was thanking officers for saving his life. He started to come around by then. By the time he was transported to the hospital, he was able to stand on his own. Sassy said he was talking and thanking us for bringing him back. Timing is key when someone is experiencing opioid overdose, and without proper medical intervention, an overdose can be lethal. Police and first responders say they deal with chronic opioid users on a daily basis. Now here are Dunloss in Michigan. Persons may not be drunk on trains. Cars may not be sold on Sunday. It is illegal for a robber to file a lawsuit. It is legal for a robber to file a lawsuit if he or she got hurt in your house. Any persons over the age of 12 may have a license for a handgun as long as he or she has not been convicted of a felony. Detroit putt-putt golf courses must close by 1 a.m. Security guards at Joe Louis Arena will confiscate any item they feel might be thrown onto the ice. Willfully destroying your old radio is prohibited. It is legal for a man to scald his wife on Sunday. It is illegal to let your pig run free in Detroit unless it has a ring on its nose. Now for the weather with Hannah.
The current temperature is 49 degrees. The high for today was 56 degrees. The low is 24 degrees. The barometer is at 30.42 inches and falling. The humidity is at 35%. The wind has between 1 and 3 miles per hour from the northwest. The gusts have been up to 14 miles per hour from the northeast. There have been no hundredths of an inch of moisture measured today by the DCTV weather station. Moisture for the month is 0.69 hundredths of an inch. Moisture for the year is 0.69 hundredths of an inch. And now for the big map. There are areas of both rain and snow from Washington into northern California and east into Montana. A high is over Utah and Colorado. A low is over eastern Colorado. Low. Northern Dakota has a small area of snow. Michigan into Indiana and east into New York and the back south into Tennessee and the Carolinas is getting snow. This place. Michigan and Indiana and east into New York. Oh wait, I already read that. Southeast Florida has some rain. Now here's your exclusive DCTV 5-day forecast. Tuesday, partly sunny, high 49, low 28. Wednesday, partly sunny, high 53, low 27. Thursday, partly sunny, high 50, low 20. Friday, partly sunny, high 53, low 28. Saturday, mostly sunny, high 52, low 28. Now for our climate change report. CO2, carbon dioxide, is one of the principal causes of climate change, and it is important that we report the CO2 weekly change. CO2 traps heat in the atmosphere, which causes climate instability, resulting in significant swings worldwide of moisture and hot and cold temperatures. But it is important to note that the overall long-term climate trend is that the planet is warming. The following are the CO2 numbers in parts per million for the week of January 28th. This week's 408.30. Last week 407.92. 1 year ago 406.84. 10 years ago 386.22. 50 years ago 322.50. Thank you, Dr. Peter Trans of the National Oceanographic Atmospheric Administration and Michael McGee of the CO2 Earth website for this information. Remember, you can help keep our kids' news show on air by buying a sponsorship. To buy a sponsorship, just call 970-677-4119. Thank you. Now back to our news director.
Well, and that's the end of today's DCTV 4-H news program. This is your news director, Edward. Good night, and thank you for watching.